Hi, and welcome to this lesson on learning Go. In this case, it's the switch statement and selecting from alternatives. So the switch statement is a way to write a more structured if-else-if statement. And a lot of times for alternatives that are single valued, it makes more sense to write it as a switch statement than as an if-else-if. So let's look at the examples from the lesson. The first example is a program that takes the number and then uses a switch to determine if a number is true or false. And actually what it does, if a number is even or odd. And actually what it does is it decides based on a function return. So let's start the program. First thing we're going to do is write the function. So I haven't covered functions in depth, and we'll talk about those later. You can probably tell, or you probably understand from just looking at my code, how functions work in Go. So this function determines if the number is even by taking the modulus of the number and 2, and if the remainder is 0, then the number is even, obviously. Otherwise, the number is false. So in our main program, we're going to declare a variable for the number. Then we're going to write a loop to run 5 times, just so we can test a couple of numbers. So we're going to prompt the user to enter a number. We're going to get the number from the keyboard. Whoops, not scan. Number, sorry. Then we call our switch. So switch switches on an expression. And so in this case, it's our function call to isEven. And so we have a case statement for if it's true. Then we're going to write out a little statement that says the number is even. Or if it's false, we're going to write out that it's false. Oops. And we're going to have a default, which will fall through if it's neither true nor false. I'm going to just write some little silly saying here. And we don't need printf, we'll just use println. Like, what in the world was that we just saw? So we'll close off the switch, close off the for, and that should close off our main function. So we'll save our program. Whoops, there's some leftover from our last video. So we're going to do this 5 times. So that's in our number 23. 23 is false. 144 is even. 192 is even. 1221 is false. And 2008 is even. So that's our first example. The second example that I'm going to demonstrate is going to be one that shows how many months, is going to tell us how many days are in a month using a very simple little algorithm. So let's take a look at that. So let's go back, let's clear the screen first. We've already done that. Let's go back to our editor. We'll leave the function call in there. We're not going to call it, but we'll leave it there. And so we're going to create a variable for the month. We're going to create a variable for the days. And then we're going to ask the user to enter the month. What month? Then we're going to get that month from the user. In this case, we're going to demonstrate that you don't have to switch on an expression. You can switch. Instead, you can use the case clause or the case statement to trigger an action. So here we're going to say, if the month entered is February, let's put our color right there, then the days are equal to 28. We're going to ignore leap year. And then if the month is equal to September, or the month is equal to April, or the month is equal to June, or the month is equal to November, whoops, and days are equal to 30. And then we'll have a default. That says the days are equal to 31 if none of those others match. Then we're going to do a printf to print out our result. So %s, that is the string for the month. And then a %d for the number of days. Whoops, yeah, okay. And that all looks good, so let's save. Go back to our editor, compile and run. So let's see, I'm in March right now, so March has 31 days in it. Let's run it again. Let's do January. January also has 31 days. Let's do February. Non-leap year February, of course. And then let's do, we know October has, let's do September. September has 30 days. So let me bring the code back up. I'll take the function out now, so you don't have to look at that while we're looking at our code. So you can always switch on an expression, or you can put the expression inside the case clauses or the case statements and evaluate those like that. So there's really two ways to do the switch. It just depends on the situation. I just wanted to show you both ways. And so that wraps up this video, and thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.